I am once again booting into the very small 8 megabyte Slitaz base text mode live CD, and today we're going to be looking at networking from the command line. Now, when the computer boots, by default, if you have an Ethernet plug, a cable connected, it will try to connect and give you an IP address. I'm going to log in as root with password default is root, and at this point I can hit if config, and it'll give me information on my network devices. I have ETHO, which is my wired connection. I have been assigned an IP address of 10.0.2.15, and I have a loopback device as well. Now, as you can see, I do not have a wireless device on this machine, and I wish I did. It would make this tutorial better, but bear with me. I'm going to go through the process, and most of the commands will give me device not found because it does not exist, but I want to give you somewhat of a view on what you need to do. You can also do if config-a, and it'll show you all devices, whether they're up or down or not, and you can see we have a dummy device there that's not a real device. Anyway, clear the screen here. To get wireless working, now if you're running a full version of distro of Slitaz, you can go into text mode and you will have the wireless tools installed for you. But since we're using the minimal 8 megabyte version, they are not installed. So what we have to do is we have to physically connect with an Ethernet plug to install this stuff, or you can copy it to a disk, but that's a whole different thing. Anyway, Taz PKG recharge, which will connect to the internet and get us a list of all available mirrors and servers and a list of packages available. Once that is done, we can go Taz PKG. We can get -install wireless _tools, and this will download the tools we need for wireless connections. And it's very small. Downloaded and installed it there. And one of the things it installed was IW list. And IW list will let us scan for local networks. Now, you may want to, just to be sure, we can go IW config WLAN 0. WLAN 0 will normally be the name of your wireless device, but it may change depending on the chipset inside the device. Maybe ATHO, but commonly it's WLAN 0. So IW config WLAN 0 up, just to bring it up. Oh, I'm sorry. IF config WLAN 0 up. It tells me no such device because I don't have a wireless device. But after you do that, IW list WLAN 0, or whatever your device's name is, scan will scan for all local wireless networks. It will take a few seconds and it'll bring up information such as their name, signal strength, whether they're encrypted or not, their MAC address, so stuff like that. And once you see the wireless network you want to connect to, it's very simple to go IW config WLAN 0 ESSID, which is the name of the network. I mean, that's what is the identification for the network, which I'll always say link sys, which is very common if people haven't changed the default settings on their Linksys router. We would hit enter. Obviously, still, once again, I do not have the device, but it should basically go to the next line. Probably wouldn't give you any output if it worked correctly. And then the next command you'd want to run is udhcpc, which this will, and then, well, let me finish out the command, WLAN 0, and we would hit enter, and just as it did there, it would check that wireless connection that you have to Linksys and try to obtain an IP address and the DNS IP and get a gateway for you. So basically that does all the IP assigning for you, and that is, once again, udhcpc and the name of your wireless device. And you have to run that after you run IWconfig WLAN ESSID Linksys, or whatever the name of your router is. Now that's for an unencrypted wireless network. If you have WEP encryption on your router, you really should upgrade to WPA, because WEP is not secure one little bit. But we'll just say that you're out at someone else's house or an office somewhere and they are using WEP. Basically, same command, iwconfig WLAN0 ESSID, the name of the network, which you can get from iwlist and device scan. And then we would type in key, and the key, whatever their key is, we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we will hit enter there. And that would connect you using that wireless key. And then after that, you have to use DHCPC WLAN0, hit enter, and it will assign you an IP address. Now, it gets a little more advanced if you are using WPA encryption. And basically, you're going to have to use what's called WPA supplicant, which gets very involved. In fact, I was going to go over it, and I just decided I'm not going to, because one, I'm not that familiar with it. I've had to do it in the past with some devices like my old cell phone, my OpenMoko Freerunner. I had to manually create a config file and then link the config file, put that in another config file. I'm not going over all that in this tutorial. Actually, if you're running in text mode, you probably already know everything I showed you in this tutorial, but it was good to, just for those who don't know and may want to learn. But if you want to learn how to connect to WPA from the command line, just Google WPA supplement, or you can even go to supplicant, sorry, openmoko.org. If you just Google WPA OpenMoko, the OpenMoko website, which is the OpenMoko operating system for the OpenMoko phone, which is running Linux, they have great tutorials on there on how to set that all up. So Google OpenMoko WPA and check out their wiki on that. But, you know, once you are connected, you can check your connection by doing ping something like Google, and you should get responses back. Now, if you don't get a response back from Google, you can try, ifconfig, see what your IP address is. And usually your IP address, if you change the last number to 1, that is the router you're connecting to. In most cases, you can try pinging that. If you can ping that and it works, which obviously in my case it does not, if that works and Google doesn't, that means you're connected to the network, but for some reason you're not getting out to the internet. And that could just be settings on that network in most cases if you got that far. But I just wanted to go over some very simple stuff to get you started with the wireless networking. And that's about it. Visit filmsbychris.com for more video tutorials like this. I wish this one was a little more full. I wish I had a wireless device connected to this machine so that I could show you more. But just wanted to get you started. Have a great day.